Welcome to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Marrocco. The ACIO has a long history of helping humanity from the deep recesses of time. This is the first time the ACIO has become available to the public, aside from an earlier visitation by their 15th Division, the Wingmakers. Peter the Insider, originally from Slovakia, is the director of their 12th Division, and Jessica Arael Marrocco is in Cicada 3301, their 6th Division. Together, they provide intel, insights on current events, a deeper perspective on aliens and UFOs, super soldier missions with Unit 374 and the Merge, and news relevant for disclosure. Don't forget to subscribe to keep updated with our latest intel and post any questions and comments below.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures. I'm joined here with Peter the Insider, and we're going to get an update of some of the news around the world and whatever other intel Peter has for us today. So without further delay, let's get right into it and welcome in Peter. Hi Peter, how you doing? And
So I want to say hello to you, Jessica, and to all of our regular and maybe not so regular listeners. So, situation is getting really weird and odd in the world, and not only in the region when I am originally from, because if we believe that heat is here in Europe, in Slovakia, it's not just kind of true, because the center of attention just moved to the France when there were early elections, because a political party who pretty much ruled, they were in government, it completely lost. They lose the elections. There were early elections, but then something extremely unexpected happened. This quote in quotes that was that their President Macron didn't accept it, resignation of government. What, just by the way, he as a president, no matter who will be in there in presidency, has a right to do so, but it never happened in the past. And I want to know, because this is normal, this is not my show, this is your show too. I want to know your insights, your points of view, because I've got certain insights. Me living for 10 years in France. I mean, not living right now, but I lived there. I know, let's say, I can say I know the whole, context, cultural, historical context. I know the mentality of people and all kind of that stuff. Of course, I wasn't born and raised in France, that's true, but I don't know if you ever lived in France for a longer period of time. I don't know. Did you?
no, I've visited there quite a bit though. I've been to many different areas from the north to the south.
And that's my question. What do you think about that? About the whole, let's say, this whole, we can call it literally bizarre situation. Because look, it's like if I, as a man in the power, will do something, and then I say, no, I don't like that. It was a mistake. It was a stupid move. It's like nobody can take such a politician serious anymore, to be perfectly honest. with you. Okay,
Well,
I can't.
uh,
I will definitely not, to be honest.
I've been keeping an eye on France for a long time, for at least 4 years or so, or maybe more, especially when the Yellow Vest movement came up, because Macron became, you can agree or disagree, but I think he's a dictator. He was
I will
telling,
tell you something. I will tell you something. I don't want to say dictatorship, definitely not like that. But let's say some sort of autocratic-ish regime. It's like, okay,
regime.
why
Yeah.
regime? Yeah, and there is one solid question standing out even more and more solid. Okay, why in the world there should be any sort of elections once only one man, only one political party will or should be ruled?
Right. So it has an illusion that it's not a dictatorship. But let me just do an overview of what's been going on in France for some people that don't know. So it started off with Macron starting to increase taxation, and then the people were not getting what's called a living wage. They were not able, they were increasing the price of gasoline, the price of food. And so it was turning out that some of the people who would have to get up and go to work
Sorry for interrupting you. And one very important thing: taxes. Taxes for many things. Many,
yeah,
many things.
let me say it all, right? Let me say it all, and then you can add to it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks. So yeah, there's this taxes for high taxation on all different levels. The people could not make a living wage. They were trying to get to work. They couldn't justify even getting up and going to work, because they at the end of the day, I think they were barely making and able to get enough food for half a month. I mean, some of it was so oppressive that, and the people went to speak out and say, you can't do this to us. We don't expect a lot. We just want to have the means to be able to feed our families, to support our homes. And he mocked them. He made fun of them. He called them farmers. He called them stupid. He called them like terrible names. And then we see that he started to rise in power, and the people started to protest, but they quietly protested. But then out of nowhere, then we have this Antifa group that was acting out violently. So then it made them look like they were violent. And so everything has been against the average person there in France, almost like they were setting a world example of what they want to do. And the first thing I said is, if they destroy this nation, if they do to whatever they're going to do to this nation is an example of what they want to do to every nation. Macron just kept getting more and more powerful and had a very, very strong presence in the EU. He brought in what they were calling these the robo-cops, these cops that didn't look like they were from France. They were huge, and they were literally like dragging women down the street by their hair. They were punching little old ladies. They were doing like really like shocking things. And so I think for the most part, people thought this was, really a horrible situation. Meanwhile, I was still going there, and I've noticed the change in France. They have so many immigrants in Paris, it's not recognizable as a French nation anymore. If you go to Paris itself. And I have video footage. I don't think I'm exaggerating. They call it the Great Replacement because they feel like they want to get rid of the French people. Maybe the French people are anxious, and maybe it's some people might say that's exaggerated, but you have to really actually go over there to see it. And the other regions still seem to be intact. Like we went all the way down to Nice and some of these really, really, very, very nice areas. We went to Monaco. Those places seem to still be intact as they were before. But Paris seems to have been ravaged in a lot of ways. And now this is the second cathedral that's burning down. So we see that there's a lot of activity going on there. Meanwhile, Macron has been leveraging power over in Switzerland and throughout the EU and Germany and the Netherlands and some of the other powerful nations. I'm not sure how much leverage he has with England, but I do know that he has done quite a bit of work with Trudeau in Canada and also with Biden. And so everybody's on board. I think it's part of the Schwab plan that he's been associated with. So now he has one person that has been trying to go against him politically, and that's Marie Le Pen. And she has been supposedly the opposition. I'm not really sure because I know that they do handpick who gets to even run in the first place. But supposedly this is someone that's more for the people. And as you see, like, I don't know what the statement is with the cathedrals burning down. That maybe they're trying to tear down the original system, the culture, the history of France, kind of like what they have done in communist nations. They destroy churches, they destroy any type of religious belief, and also history. So they start off with a clean slate of that. No one has any like identity. You pretty much are just a number, and your name has no significance. Your family, whatever they accomplished, is nothing. So I mean, it's kind of like, you know, like they say, the mud flat or a slave system. And that's my interpretation of it, Peter. But I'm sure you have something different. So go ahead and share what you want to share from there.
From my point of view, you are goddamn right. No, give me a second. I mean it for real, okay? I mean it for real.
It's heartbreaking. Yeah, I've been to France. I've been to Italy. I've been a little bit into Spain. I haven't been to Portugal. We've been to Belgium, Luxembourg, multiple times. The Netherlands, England. I'm trying to think of any other nations that we haven't gone to yet. But as far as the European nations, and of course, we've been to Slovakia before in Prague. We visited there, and Poland briefly. So, you know, in Switzerland, driven through Switzerland, a few different places, including the locations of CERN, and, you know, trying to send prayers and positive energy to these nations, because it seems like there was a takeover of some sort, and they were like literally stripping down everything. And it doesn't look like Switzerland has been affected too deeply, but Germany has. Germany's cities are getting worse and worse and more aggressive. And I know that whoever is in power definitely wants to tear up Germany. They don't like Germany. And they don't seem to like England very much either. So even though the Shaw House is in power over there and in power over all of the Commonwealth, they have very little interest in preserving certain things and oppressing the people very heavily. So these organizations, and of course, all of our cities in the United States don't look the same anymore. I mean, I felt like when I had to go into downtown Boston, it didn't feel like my city anymore. You know, it felt like something else. The other regions around it are not too bad, but yeah, they're doing a really good job of destroying the cities.
Yeah, that's actually that's true, but you know, the situation is, the problem is that strange foreigners strange for people living in Eastern Europe is not. They are strange, but in Western Europe it's not that kind of strange. There are many of them in the whole, not only France, but colonist superpowers, former, of course. They made this agreement. It was approximately when civil war occur in US, in United States, that they need to have certain limits, certain numbers for people from their colonies in order to quote unquote make their life even better. But that's the problem.
Which is
better.
Yeah.
But give me a second.
That's fine.
The better that means the better, the more wars. Because it's like, what the heck? It doesn't make any sense. It makes sense because they imported them for even worse and more crazier labor work. They don't treat them like a normal people. It's so crazy. I'm just
in the past, like, I think, like I said, I grew up in Boston, so it was, you have people coming in waves from all different parts of the world, whether it was tragedy or wars or natural disasters. And so I'd say by the age of 15, 16, I met almost everyone around the world. It felt like, and, because like I said, people are people, and they're usually, when they come over, they're grateful. They were. What they're bringing over now are armies. That's a different thing. And so this is not like against those that want, to have an opportunity, because the people that came in that wanted an opportunity, they work really hard, and then they build something, and they get homes, and they get, whatever, and they add something very nice to the culture, right? These people are coming in, they're angry, they're coming in as a force of like male, young soldier age groups going into different regions of Europe as well as the United States, and waiting for something to pop up, like, maybe an election that they need to have go in a certain direction. So they're leveraging a lot of different things right now that is in a level of in-your-face corruption. It's clearly obvious, and in between there are good people that are coming in. Like, I see people working even around where I'm living. There are people that are coming in from, whether it's South America, some other places, and they seem to be working hard. They're getting along. There's no like damage to anything. There's nothing really bad that seems to be happening. But somewhere in the middle, they're throwing this group that I think that are kind of underground, these little armies that, whether it's Soros Sr. or his son, are bragging about bringing into other nations because they can, I guess, because they don't like it.
Exactly as you said, just because they can.
I think they're just antisocial. They don't like other humans, or they're not human themselves, or they don't really care. And this is like a game to watch to see how many people could get killed. I don't know what they're doing and why they're doing it, but I don't know why no one's stopping it either, and why they're complying with it. But I know that when you have a lot of money, you can persuade people to do things that look the other way, or allow something to go through. So it looks like they're resetting the game board in Europe. Macron has lost a little bit of credibility somehow. Not that he ever really made sense, and I don't see him as the most intelligent of some of these European leaders. But he had a lot of like personal power in the beginning, forcefulness and directness that people were listening to, and they're listening to him less now. But so I don't know if they think that he just needs to be replaced with someone else that's going to impose the new regimes that they want. And also the deck has changed as well with the EU, because now they have the representative from the Netherlands, I think, that's in charge instead of the woman from Germany. And I apologize, I don't have their names in front of me right now.
Ursula von der Leyen, and now I don't know is the name. That's a question.
Is it Groot or
Mark Rutte.
Rob?
Mark Rutte. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Ralph will say it correctly.
Yeah, he is.
And Ralph, you can talk for a few minutes, right? He's typically, what party is he usually involved with, and what's his background?
Well, he's been the prime minister from of the Netherlands for a long time. I don't know how many years, maybe 10 years, 12 years, something like that. He seems a very left-leaning guy. That's just, to me, seems like a puppet. Does what he's told, does what he needs to do, with a like a veil of, like, seemingly, oh, I'm so understanding of the regular folk, and oh, I'm trying my best, and oh, we're trying to make the Netherlands a better place, and this and that. But meanwhile, it's deteriorating just like everywhere else. So yeah, now he's the boss of NATO or the European Union.
Yeah.
NATO, I think it is.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show how much of a puppet he is, because otherwise he would never have gotten that position. To me, that's kind of how that works. Like, if these people climb and climb and climb, they must be following the orders of the shadow group.
Oh,
you are right.
And then also the farms, they were hurting farmers. They were beating up farmers mercilessly not long ago in the Netherlands,
still doing
right?
That with their policies, because the Soroses and the Schwabs of this world, they have a big plan for the Netherlands and Belgium and Luxembourg and parts of Germany, where they want to turn it into a massive, like, smart city type of hub. All those countries combined, that massive region, they want to turn it into one big smart city. So there's no place for farmers. There's no room. So with their policies, they're just forcing farmers out of business, pretty much. They're making it impossible for the farmers to do their job. Which, when you think about it, they're the most efficient farmers on the planet, and that's what they're trying to destroy. So how anti-human does it get? It's crazy.
And then they were introducing bugs, right, to the students and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, elementary schools have done like test runs with the kids to have like cricket-based candy and crisps and things like that.
Because with the farmland being removed, and they want to fill that with people, right? They don't really have an army there or a big military presence. So they would have to then outsource food whereas they had like perfectly good food and a lot of great farmers there. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's why they're trying to get Ukraine into the EU and part of the Western nations, because the Ukraine is like the breadbasket of Europe and
yeah, you are right.
Those areas. So they're probably trying to replace the farmlands and put it all in the Ukraine and then import it back into Europe.
Well, then that brings up the whole Ukrainian part of it, because they're in war and their farms are getting affected by chemicals and other things that you've told us in the past, right, Peter?
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
So all the food will be tainted, and then what we get to eat, the Europeans get to eat bugs, and so that's the gratitude that they're supposed to say to the government. Thank you.
Definitely not the bugs, but the highly radioactive and the poisoned food and all kind of that crap. You know what I mean?
They're trying to weaken the Europeans. They want to get rid of the Europeans, or what are they trying to do? And including,
of course, hell yes. Of course, hell yes.
But that's also the Ukrainians. That's also the Russians. Even the Russians are being, affected by this with the radioactivity.
You are goddamn right.
So this is all the shadow groups still doing this?
Yeah, you are goddamn right.
Are they trying to just like deplete the whole population? That's it?
Not deplete. Let's say they are trying to what? to make experiment on people because they like to experiment.
So there are some kind of creatures or something. They're not human. That they feel that we are subjects.
Pretty much you nailed it.
Since you've been there, Peter, you said that you had an interaction with Peter Toth. Do you want to have an update on that conversation, the more recent conversation?
Just by the way, it is very, very interesting. Because what we talk about, it is interesting. He pretty much said that they were pulled into this crazy situation by 12 deeply 80s.
Oh, well, are we surprised?
To be honest, no. No.
That's the problem. It always comes back to them, and they're not human either. And we were just talking about, we're not going to say who it is, but they're using this very young-looking girl to manipulate things right now, who was a Canadian.
12 deeply 80s. Goddamn right.
Yeah. Talking about it could be an experiencer or SSP or something like that, and she's very young looking, but she's really not. She's the vessel at this point, pretty much.
At this point, yes. You are right.
Yeah, and then I saw that they were using another person as a vessel for was it Lawrence Rockefeller, Rockefeller, and Podesta.
Exactly. You nailed it.
So they're for whatever reason they're trying
because to be perfectly honest, I talked to him, and I will tell you something. He was afraid, and I mean, I as a soldier can say, once soldier is afraid, with high class, like elite training.
So Peter
I don't want to say, I even don't want to say afraid. I mean, like really worried, like, okay, you know, you can't play this. You cannot trick me. I mean, like, you know, those kind of people, because I am in the same environment. And he said that they will destroy the world. And I was like, who do you mean? And he said, because of experiments going on in CERN in perfect phase. So that means in absolute perfect, do you know what I mean, alignment with experiments in US Northeast near the Great Lakes in the US-Canadian border. Try to guess what? In Monarch DUMBs, that means deep underground military bases, that they gain access. And I was like, okay, hey, stop. Why in the world you are just stuttering and everything and all kind of nonsenses, you know? And he said literally 12 deeply 80s. Like he said, he said it loud, okay? Said it loud. I was like,
he said it like he was nervous, like in other words, it's not.
He wasn't nervous. He was goddamn freaked out. He was stuttering and all kind of that stuff, and he got kind of anxious, and he was like, we need to start to be quiet. We was like whispering or something, and because he doesn't believe anything, like he was afraid if we wasn't like spied and everything, and we was in this room with magnetic, you know, like how can I say, shadowing, electromagnetic shadowing, nothing like that, you know. So pretty much we doesn't have any sort of cell phones and any sort of electronics. And despite that, he was anxious, nervous, and all kind of that stuff. And I was like, what the heck, man? And he said literally, that they will destroy us because they gained the access to our reality / context of existence. And I was like, hey man, stop. Who are you talking about? Who are you referring to that to as them? Just say me, who are they as them? And then he said it literally, like, 12 D Pleiades. I'm just saying. Because so, without having this let's say access, thanks to this perfect alignment, or let's call it synchronicity, it will be there will be zero chance to gain access. Yikes, that was a problem. Because they can go there. I mean, because for us it's here, but for them it's there. Do you know what I mean? Because they are from different contexts of existence. Screw that. And the situation is, and I was like, that they are here, and I was like, what the heck? Just stop. Why in the world you are just like that? And he said, because they are shapeshifters, and you don't know, you can't recognize them. And I was like, hey, stop. It's not a big deal. Why in the world you are just like that? And he said, nah, it's long gone. Those days when you can differ them because they've got some sort of think, that means like remarkable point, like, nah, for many people it's just a tattoo, do you know what I mean, or something like that, or there are certain like anomalies on backbone or wrist or something, do you know what I mean, like shape anomaly. No, those days are long gone. And I was like, oh my god, I think we are just a little bit screwed, do you know what I mean? And he said, so this is literally, give me a second. And that's the reason why he said that we are screwed. And he showed me those possibilities, like quotes in quotes, case scenarios. And believe me, like once they will not do according their will, once the shadow group will not fulfill their will, that means 12 D Pleiades, he showed me like those scenarios, and I was like, aye, judgment day.
Yeah, they want everyone, they want apocalypse. I know that for sure.
And okay, one thing. You are expert in this field. There is no doubt about it. What in the world is their deal? Deal of 12 D Pleiades. I mean, why in the world are they that bad? That's my question. What is wrong with them? I don't understand that.
I don't know if they have some kind of galactic agreement or they have permission over the years, but it's almost like they look at their watch, like, all right, after so many years, we need to reset everything. And we need to deplete the population or start over.
Give me a second. I understand. I don't want to say I understand that, but let's say I am okay. Of course, I'm not okay with that. Do you know what I mean? But the situation is, Who in the world gave them such a permission? Because I talked with him, with Peter Todd, and he said that it's a multilateral agreement from Intergalactic Council. Well, what is
Time.
that?
Yeah, they have a schedule. It's a time.
Give me a second, but why exactly them? And why, give me a second, and why there is a quote unquote schedule in the first place? It means like from time to time, the population, the civilizations, and all kind of the species, they need to be quote unquote reset. I mean, they need to have also called great reset or something like that. Because to be perfectly honest, give me a second, despite me being in ACIO for more than 30 years, okay, I don't understand the whole purpose of great reset. I mean, sometimes it's needed, to be honest, because people are doing crazy things. I understand it from certain point of view, but let's say it can be done without collateral damage, and I will tell you why. Look, just stop and talking about these crazy things. What do you think? What will happen in nowadays, in today's days, if no, not like if we will shut down the whole grid, aka TV, radio, or distribution of prints. I mean, normal newspapers or newspapers, week magazines, like month magazines, and all kind of that stuff. No. If we will just turn off, and I mean like for good, turn off the internet. For me, I mean, I don't, sorry, my bad. Not for me, but from my point of view, for vast majority of the people in developed countries, it will be crazy, okay? But for me, pardon me, it's not a big deal. Or it will be not a big deal. I still have tons of things and other things to do, But for so many people, forget alcohol, forget any sort of drugs. I mean, like, chemical compounds. I mean, no matter if we are talking about either natural or how can I say them, like, how can I call them, like artificial ones? Okay, no, forget about all of that. Or maybe gambling. No, I can see so many people, and give me a second, not only young people, to till 22, 23, or maybe till 30. Okay, I mean, this age and younger. 40, 45, 50, 55 years old, and without internet, they start shaking. And I was like, what in the world is wrong with you people? They literally start shaking like abstinence problem. They start they start to sweat, they start to stutter, and all kind of the situations. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? I don't understand that. Maybe I am the stupid one in this situation. Who the heck knows? And I'm just saying, so for me, okay, no need for total war, no need for any sort of crazy collateral damage, okay? For me, or let's say from my point of view, if there will be, quotes in quotes, red button, there will be internet, and there will be red button like on and off, or let's say this huge switch, red switch, and we will just hit the switch, turn it to off, like the But, and those people, they will not get it. There will be mass suicides. I swear to God, it will be like that. Those people, they are that kind of addicted. It's like, what the heck? I was young. I raised without internet. I was young. Nah, it was not a big deal. Still, I don't want to say I was young. I mean, like during my teenage, but still in my 20s and early 30s, yes, internet existed, but it was for fun. I mean, from our point of view, do you know what I mean? Like most internet traffic, it's like on social media and all kind of that stuff, And I was like, what the heck? What the heck? I absolutely don't understand the whole, let's call it the whole mechanism of human mindset. I mean, I don't want to say all of the people all around the world, but vast majority of population. I don't understand the whole their let's say logic, mechanic of their behavior. Maybe I am the one who absolutely is misunderstanding and just underestimating the whole situation. Maybe, just maybe, you are the one who have better explanation.
I've communicated with the Pleiades in the past.
Okay.
Obviously, like I said, Semyase came and sat next to me, right next to me in a bench at a baseball game.
Oh, give me a second. Are you serious?
You know that. You know that. I called you. I asked you what she was doing there.
Yeah. Actually, yes. Give me a second. Yeah.
That happened years ago, right? And I've talked to other people that are Lyran, and their explanation is that it's related to, it sounds like there is something that they feel that they need to punish humanity. I don't know why, because they're not perfect.
Give me a second. Are you goddamn serious?
They think humanity needs to learn, but not them, because they commit a lot of crimes and they don't ever get in trouble for it.
Sorry, but I don't buy this. I don't buy this story. I mean, give me a second. I am not saying that your stuff, I mean, you're saying it's story because it's nonsense. I'm saying I don't buy their, let's say,
reasoning,
interpretation of the whole. What the?
This is the information that I've gotten, and so let me just finish this through, and then you can tell me what you think. So I've had discussions with them about it, and well, why is it that we need to bring in this apocalypse? Why is it? Well, they do want to get rid of the grid. I know that for sure. I've heard that from Arcturians, I've heard that from Lyrans, and I've heard that from Pleiadians, because they say it's to get back to nature, but they also know what it's going to do. And it will bring in a great apocalypse. It will bring the strongest will survive. That means that those that have guns, that are aggressive, that will steal money or food from other people, that will cannibalize, that will do all these really aggressive things, will be the ones who are in charge. They will take charge. The vulnerable will not have a chance.
Give me a second. To be perfectly honest, we've got very his world known psychiatrist. He's from Czech Republic, Redkin Honzak, and he said, okay, let's make a sample of 100 people, like 100%, there will be 4 people they are in depression, They don't want to talk with anybody and all kind of that stuff. There will be another 5. They are extremely competitive, and there will be one psychopath who will lead the whole group, and rest 90%. Sorry, my bad. And rest 90 people, aka 90%, they will be just average people. Sorry for that.
Yeah, there'll be no law or order, so that means, and we can already see what could happen, because when the grid goes down in some of the cities, there's looting, there's aggression, there's killing of not people that are equal to them. They go after people that, like children and someone that's weaker. Then of course children then get abducted and killed or raped or whatever they like. I mean, the consciousness goes way down very quickly.
You
right?
exactly nailed it. I absolutely don't understand the whole dynamic.
It's not a divine order. It's not divine. It's not coming from a good. If there are like galactic groups that are supporting this, they're not a good group. I'll say that. And also then they say the reason why they have to do it because they have to bring in a Messiah. But the Messiahs that I've been seeing that they're sending here are androids.
I will give me a second, but from my point of view, it's easy. The dynamic, quotes in quotes, dynamic, if we want to call it dynamic, it's like you create problem in order to bring Messiah. If you like it or not, that's true.
Yeah, but the Messiah doesn't really do anything. He's like an android, and he doesn't really help anything. They're trying to keep. They've done this a couple of times already through our history.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the whole thing with
give me a second. And always with the same outcome. Just
chaos, and then look at all the people that died for being Christian, or that the Christians were killing other groups because they were not conforming to Christianity. And so you have all these unnecessary killings, and it's all brought in by the same group over and over again. And they also
now Muslims the same situation. But the problem is not the Muslims.
Yeah.
But
Islamists.
No, give me a second. I need to be very precise in this in this, let's say, matter. Not Muslims, but Islamists. They don't have anything in common with Muslims, just by the way, because Muslims are normal. They are normal.
Well, I think Zoroaster brought in. He brought in a duality. He brought in a duality to Abraham, who was Jewish, as well as he brought it into Muhammad. And so there's a link between those belief systems. They're the same. People get mad. I think they're the same people that were then divided, and they were supposed to be neighbors or brothers or something like that. And they created this duality, and they became very rigid and very cruel. And here again, I know that Zoroaster is working with the Pleiadians, or in this Ptah, they call him. Ptah is another one.
And my question is, what is his deal? I can't speak. Zoroaster's deal. What is his deal? I don't understand that at all.
He likes to just he seems to like to just play with an experiment on humans and see how they'll react. Like what I was saying is earlier, like how if you take brothers, two nations that are connected, say Abraham, and then he had his handmaid that he had his child with, so that means Ishmael and what do you call it? Isaac are actually brothers, right? But then have them in opposition, so that's a forever war there. So this is something that he would like experiment on to see the reaction. He was experimenting on the quantum. So CERN is definitely in some category of interest to him and probably has backed this, and also to invert and bring things into our reality that don't belong here, including a potential black hole. And he doesn't mind, because for him, we are like lab rats, and he wants to see our reaction to it. He's also created civilizations, and then he's let them, they have no purpose, or they have a timeline that just goes away. I've watched that too plenty of times, where you see throughout our history, we have civilizations and then no one knows what happened to them afterwards. They just sort of died out, or they had some kind of drought or something that didn't make
so let's
sense.
say they vanished without the trace, right?
Yeah, or they have some kind of unusual natural calamity that wipes them all out. And you know, like the last of the Mohicans, you know, people don't know, well, what happened to them. It's similar to that, but like, you know, we're talking ancient civilizations, and even Göbekli Tepe, I believe, over in Turkey. You know, people started to dig up and to look at some of the artifacts there, and they've already blocked it off. They're putting walkways in areas that should be excavated, and they don't want people to see what's there, because there was a lot of different things that happened in these locations where they had other technologies and abilities, and they don't want humans to evolve. If humans evolve, then they'll become more in the galactic area, where they're traveling in space, where essentially we do actually get over this hump, right, Peter? Because then we become galactic civilization. We're living in different realities, right, in different planets and all that.
Oh yeah.
So we get past it. It's just that we're in this place where we're experiencing the pivotal point where we kind of fight through it. We're kind of getting past this. I think this is the last time the 12D are challenging us, that we actually stop them, because I think that no one was fully aware that they were doing this until it was too late. And then it resets the planet, where people become they don't have the technology and all that. And we were starting to evolve to the point where Tesla brought in the free energy, and you see the free energy technology and all the mud flood buildings and all that stuff. And then they had to kind of mess up everything again to throw people off and reintroduce a lesser form of technology, and then say, oh, look, you know, that's polluting the earth. But they knew that already.
And just by the way, and as you said, those extremely, like, crazy overloaded, you know, orphanages in early 20th century, you know, and or let's say 1910s, 1920s, something like that, or let's say very late of 19th century. Does it make sense? Of course not. Because once we are not talking about First or Second World War, what we are not, obviously, timeline, you know, time-wise,
yeah.
time. No, I sorry, I just interrupted you a lot, so feel free. I know it's impolite, so feel free to just get me.
No, I think you're right, Peter, and thank you for doing that. Yeah, a lot of those, the people are questioning what happened to all the parents, because it was pre-war that a lot of orphans happened to be around, and no one knows what happened to all their parents. And even some of the cities, they have pictures of cities that look vacant. And they're like, well, what's going on here? You know, there's a lot of questions. And so they've done this before, just that people forget. That people have anxiety probably from in their subconscious, knowing that something like this could happen. The anxiety that I think this younger generation that have their iPhones and all that, keep in mind, Peter, everyone's world is based on their communication. So that's your work. Not everyone has friends locally anymore. I have friends all around the world.
But give me a second. Can I say something, please? This is our main problem, not mine and yours, but as a humanity, why in the world do you just go, just don't go outside the flat or house and then that's it? Just go to the
You
cafe
do.
on.
Of course you do, but like, you know, what we do right now, how many people understand what we do? So I have to find those people in, you know, just by being out publicly, and then they find me. But the local people are limited on what they understand. So, but I'm friends with them. I'm nice to them. And if they needed help and something happened, I would help them and vice versa. Right. So,
Okay.
but I'm just saying that, say, the way that the earth is right now is we have work that's related through the internet. That's why I think people would be sweating. Yeah, because they can't work anymore. How are they going to support themselves? Also, their connections, you know, say, you know, you have a loved one that lives overseas. I mean, that's somebody, you know, what are you going to do? I mean, you can't talk to them ever again. I mean, that's like a
Can I say something? What you will start hate for that? For, I mean, what you will because of that you will start hate me. I will tell you something. Exactly as in the old times, just write letters. It was something what I really like, because look, just you've got smartphone, and yeah, I've got friends in, I don't know, Facebook, Twitter. Now it's not Twitter, it's X. I will always call it Twitter, you know, or Instagram, and all kind of TikTok, and all kind of crazy threats, and all kind of those things. Now, because it's automated, it will tell you, give me a second, it will tell you this got that person has birthday and all kind of that stuff, and they've got in countries where people are celebrating names, you know, name times, name days, and all kind of that stuff. Nah, I hate that. Maybe I am ridiculous from your point of view. No, I like it old school, old style. Nah,
you could still do that with you can do that now if you wanted to, but we wouldn't be able to do shows.
Give me a second. I understand you. Let's say I understand your point of view in the first place, but in the second place, yeah, I'm crazy. But I am getting.
Peter, let's take your wife, put her halfway across the country, and then shut down the grid. Now communicate with her.
What do you mean shut down? What do you mean shut down the grid?
I'm saying, say, imagine in your mind, you take your wife has to leave. She has to leave, go halfway across the country. You can't travel, she can't travel. You can only talk by writing letters. How do you feel about that?
This is very nice. It is romantic. Yeah, I'm stupid.
It's romantic. Okay. All right. So you won't be able to see her at all.
I'm just saying it's romantic. I like it. In the old times, you go to the studio. You make. I will tell you literally how it works. You go to studio. You pay money, because at that time it wasn't at the I mean, back in the day, you know, this phrase in English, it wasn't just that in the first place just that easy, and in the second place it was quite expensive. You go to the studio, make stylish photo, and you will add it with a spin to the letter. This is what I like. Yeah, I'm stupid.
You could do that right now. You can send her somewhere across the world.
Give me a second. I understand, but I am saying that if we will go back to the times, this is what I like.
Why be with someone if you can't be around them?
No, Jessica, I'm just saying this is my personal opinion. I am not saying that another.
That's people get in other relationships. They don't stay with anyone because the person's too far away and they can't talk to them. It is.
But isn't the point here is we don't need to go backwards in order to go forwards?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Yeah, that you don't have to go dumb down everything so that you can't communicate, you can't figure out life, you can't work beyond your 5-minute range because you don't even have a vehicle, you can't do anything, and you can't make a living, you don't have food, and you die. So what's the purpose?
No, I'm just saying you can have vehicle, but not super
Yeah, what kind of
modern
vehicle?
vehicle, not super
What, a
modern
horse?
vehicle.
Maybe a horse, maybe? Not everyone can have a horse.
No. I'm saying like
Bike?
go in the 50s or in 60s where you've got only classical phone line.
Gasoline reliant vehicles.
Yes, gasoline reliant vehicles, and you have also called wired phone. Do you know what I mean? Standard wired phone, and that was it.
Yeah, landline. They're taking all those out, by the way, in the U.S. They're pulling them out.
Why?
Yeah, they don't want them.
But
They don't want anyone to communicate.
give me a second. Give me a second. Are you serious?
Yeah.
And that is the reason.
That is the
reason. Give me a second. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Because as you call it by phrase, landlines, if they will shut the grid, I mean, yeah, of course. Yes, if there will be no electricity, there will be no landlines. But pretty much, I don't know how it works in US especially.
They were hardwired into a network, but
give me a second. But there was a backup generators, at least in Eastern Bloc. Despite you don't have electricity, literally, I am not kidding you, you can still use also called wire phone, aka landline. I'm not kidding you. I swear to God.
Not if they're taking out that whole system in the United States.
What?
Everything.
What? And this is it.
Because I mean, they want a disaster. They definitely want a disaster because there's no reason to take it out.
Oh my.
Yeah.
This is it. Give me a second. I'm not saying to extremely old times, but old times like in 1950s, 1960s, maybe early 70s. It has such a magic in that.
Life I agree.
Give me a second. Life wasn't that fast. Right. You can enjoy the moment and everything. And now all the people, they are in rush. Something is happening. And despite, you've got much more opportunities to communicate. I mean, social media, of course, via internet, and all kind of that stuff. Cell phones, and not only classical cell phones, but I mean like smartphones. And still though, like,
no,
if we are talking, sorry, go ahead.
I agree with you. I like the older times. I like the 70s. The 70s were a lot of fun. I liked the old 70s. Record 60s. I liked record players. I liked all of that. I think a lot of people my age think back about how everything was. But remember, Peter, I think that the frequencies that they're putting out there right now is making people anxious, making people aggressive, making people depressed.
If you like it or not, I mean, I don't want to say you because you know that, but 5G, it's destroy, it's killer.
It is.
And just by the way, 5G as a network, quality-wise, it totally sucks. It totally sucks.
It's definitely, it's not meant to necessarily help us, but to create more anomalies and problems in our environment.
Because
so that they
95 to 98% speed-wise, if we are talking, I mean, like about comparison 4G versus 5G, I will tell you what is only for game players. I mean, like, what in the world? What is the matter of having also called tablet, so smartphone, something in between size of smartphone and tablet, like approximately 7 inches, you know, diagonal screen. How in the world should I play video game in such a small screen in the first place? It
Right.
doesn't make any sense, at least for me. At least for me. Maybe I'm stupid, who the heck knows?
No,
And
I agree with you.
give me a second. Long story short, okay. Except small, some very small areas in the world, they are really enhancing, advancing the whole technology. I mean, 5G technology, like 95%. When and where is 5G available? As network, it sucks. Not only connection wise to the internet, but you even cannot make phone call. And I'm just like, what in the world? you should use your phone for the basic purpose. I mean, cell phone. That means for either texting or making phone calls. Do you know what I mean? Or video calls, and it just make bucks and lucks. What the heck? And this is not my personal experience only, but technicians. They are experts in this field in the first place, and they are saying that it is done on purpose because you need to replace, that means technical companies will force you to replace your old, quotes in quotes, old cell phone, to replace it for 6G, And I was like, what? And they said, this is it. It is pretty much the same situation as Windows 10. I will say it loudly. Windows 10 will be no longer maintained. I mean, support-wise in like autumn, aka fall 2025, and then who the heck knows what will happen. And if you like it or not, and if you don't have TPM module 2.0 in your computer, no matter if we are talking about laptops or desktops, you need to replace your computer, no matter it is perfectly fit for you, it's fully functional, and all kind of those situations. And with 6G, it will be absolutely the same story. And that is the reason why 5G sucks on purpose. Do you know what I mean? That no matter how can I say it, how hard they will, the technicians will try hard to improve it, the basics of designs of the technology, it has tons of flaws, like basics flaws,
Yeah.
And just by the way, side effect, but give me a second, very well and very desired side effects are impacts on human body, aka it creates cancer, if you like it or not. That's true. And it creates extremely huge anomalies on humans' behavior. Behavior if you like it or not, especially in unstable, quotes in quotes, unstable people mentally. Aye. And I talked about this problem with, okay, I will tell it as it is, okay, with technicians, with people from Cisco, you know, and they said,
Yeah.
but this is what the order was for. And I was like, whoa, what do you mean by order? What order was for? So, try to guess. Shadow group with Monarch and with Show House, all three of them ordered this technology in order, quotes in quotes, sort out weak people. They, as they are saying it, weak people from aka non-capable people from capable people. And literally, this technician said, you know, I will tell you directly what it was. Selection of wheat from chaff. And I was like, what
That's
the?
biblical. Yeah.
But give me a second. Does it make sense? I mean, I understand what you are saying, but does it make sense? It's absolutely crazy.
The 12G Pleiadians then have many fail safes. Like, if this doesn't work, then that will work. If that doesn't work, then this will work. Or maybe 3 different things of what they're doing is going to work and take everyone down. And even they've bragged
Because
to
they
me
were
about
because they, aka Cisco, works or cooperates in the whole process with GA. I mean General Electrics. Just by the way.
Yeah, all these companies or corporations working together.
Yep.
And they were bragging also about how they brought in these plants, marijuana, cocaine,
Yeah.
heroin. They bragged about this is stuff that they literally planted on the earth, which has caused problems for people. So they have many fail safes, ways to addict people, ways to throw off their frequency. They understand our biology. They understand the water content, the electricity that runs through our body. They understand what we need in order to function properly. They understand the levels of radiation that can, cause internal damage. They understand all the deep levels of chemistry of everything. We're at a disadvantage because they're way ahead of us as far as examining everything that we have here. And but yet at the same time, I see that they're falling.
But I will tell you something, and you are maybe like, what the heck, but you will be like, what the heck, it doesn't make any sense. It makes sense. Without radiation, I mean, give me a second, like absolutely, with zero, okay? We will pretty much turn into a dust.
Right. I know you've talked to me about that. So I'm saying like the measurements of everything that they know.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So we're at the disadvantage because they've studied us. We haven't studied them.
Because we never had an opportunity to do so, just by the way.
But others have. The Galactics know who they are and what they've been doing.
That's true.
And I've been telling on.
Oh my!
I tell on them all the time. Yeah, they know that, so it's not like I'm releasing any new information.
Yeah, so crazy.
That's why they're losing some power around us, and things are getting revealed. is because that they created a lot of veils of illusion. And in the shadow group, you know, if they're working with them, it perfectly makes sense. They help them time travel and do all sorts of stuff. But at some point, whether the shadow group stops or not, something's going to just shut down. Like it'll be like a system that breaks at some point and they won't be able to use it anymore.
Because,
I'm pretty sure.
Just by the way, as you said, Al-Bailey, he warned about that pretty much in the very start, at his very start, like, no matter what, this will end up bad, like very bad. If you like it or not, that's true.
I can always tell these groups that talk bad about Al-Bialik that they've been integrated by the 12D Pleiadians and they have no idea. They've been so manipulated, a lot of these groups of people. Like I've had someone say, oh, Al-Bialik's a fake. Immediately, what? I know.
Give me a second. Now I need really to interrupt you. What? Who the heck said this nonsense?
I talked to this guy, I think his name was Richard Dolan. I met him at some event years ago, and he's like, he said that we're anyone that's a psychic is in fantasy. Anyone who is looking into time travel is making things up, and then he turns around and says he does disclosure. But I said, so you're saying that Al-Bialik isn't real? He goes, no, it's all fake. It's all made up. And he was like, I said, oh, he's working with the 12D then, you know, or disinformation group of some sort.
So sorry, I can't stop laughing because this is ridiculous. Sorry for that.
Yeah, and this guy, he's a lawyer and he claims to be really important, and a lot of people listen to everything he says. And but you know, I should record it when I talk to some of these people. It's amazing the things that people say to me privately, that they put on this facade and then they say these like horrible things. And I stood there looking at him like, are you serious? I said, why are you doing this? Because I got the impression that he wanted to be a Rhodes Scholar, and he was bragging about how he was supposed to be a Rhodes Scholar, and that he met Bill Clinton and Bill Clinton didn't acknowledge him or something like that. So then he got involved with disclosure, which is not what he probably wanted to be involved with. He probably wanted to be a lawyer. So then why don't these people just stick with that? You know what I mean? Instead, they come in and they mess up everything with their uninformed disinformation and just clutter it up so they can be famous.
Oh, you know? My God.
This type of stuff happens all the time. And people wonder why I get frustrated, because I've talked to some of these people. I've talked to them and the true colors come out. They're not here to reveal that there's ETs. They're not here to share the truth of what's going on in our governments. They're here for their own ego and to be famous and to be on television and to act like there's some form of authority. And I don't understand why the public is not waking up to that. Why don't they wake up? That, you know, it's the same thing as celebrities. Celebrities are there to distract, and these people are doing the exact same things. And if people are in disclosure movement and they can't see past what's going on in their own community, how are they going to know anything else? And
that's a question.
The woman that introduced me to this guy, she was like, oh, I know him. I know his girlfriend. I know this and that. And he's really not that bad of a guy. And let's get him a water. He looks like he's sweating. I said, yeah, he's sweating because he knows that he revealed that he's a fraud to me. And I don't know if he thinks that I don't know anyone, or I wouldn't say anything anywhere.
So sorry, this is crazy. Sorry for that. This is crazy. Oh my.
Yeah.
This is such a crazy.
People need to wake up. They need to wake up, and people that are showcasing and showboating of who they are, that they're put in place for a reason, you know. I don't know. Maybe there's something in our society that wants to worship people. I don't know what it is. You know, that the groupie stuff that I talk about, or like they want to put people on the pedestal.
But just by the way, I don't know if you know that, but I am here who want to be famous. Sorry.
You want to be famous, Peter?
No, I'm just, give me a second. What so many people are saying about me.
Are
just
using you up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't show your face. We have low numbers because everyone's angry at us half the time. And they don't even know
but
why
give me a
they're
second.
angry.
But we are here definitely to be famous. we have like what, like 4,500 or something like that. Not and they are bombarding us as if we have like what, like 4 millions or something like that.
Yeah,
Sorry, I can't stop laughing.
I know they keep a close eye on us. It's crazy because you and we don't really care what people, you know, we don't need to have those kind of accolades and showboating and all that stuff. I mean, I love people. I absolutely love people. I really do. Otherwise I wouldn't do this. But I think that what's more important is the information. The information's always been first and foremost for those people that want to hear it. And it's not theory. I mean, these are things that are coming out and then they happen. This is not like a fantasy of being on a team somewhere or something like that. We're actually showing what we're doing. So
yeah, okay, just by the way, okay, my bad. Now it is 5,700. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, Peter, you're giving us less credit there.
Nah. But I'm just saying, this is so crazy, to be honest. This is so crazy because they believe, give me a second, okay? They really believe that they are bombarding us pretty much. Just by the way, they are bombarding us like we've got 5.7 millions. It's okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and you know, and they also think that we're stupid. Like they're like, oh well, you know what? Nobody really knows who the ACIO is, so we're just gonna use their content, use their storylines, and say we work for Arasaka or some of these other, and no one's gonna know any different. They won't know any different because they know me more than they know the ACIO. So we're going to just use all their terminology. And we're going to say we're from Monarch.
And do you know what is crazy? I don't want to say. I will tell you what is the craziest thing. For me, definitely, as they are so happy that they are working for this, for that, and for them. And do you know what I mean? All kind of that stuff. And give me a second. And they absolutely don't know just one little bit thing, and it is that they are bragging that they are working for someone good, and they are claiming that they are working for the worst guys in the world.
I know.
Sorry,
I know. Well, the people that know our content will look at it and say, okay, I don't even know what's going on here, because they don't fully understand. And these are not necessarily people that listen to us, but they just kind of grabbed the terminology, picked it up somewhere, and then ran with it, and then try to redefine it or whatever. But
yes,
we know who's working for who and who's doing what. We don't necessarily say anything about it. It's pretty obvious because, you know, I mean, people are maybe they're trying through popularity to try to get in with certain groups and to try to get attention, or they have to say that they come from somewhere. And we understand that. I just wish that we weren't the ones. We don't want to be the ones that are people are going to come back and say, oh, that person just went out and, you know, robbed a bank or something. You know what I mean? And they said that they were working.
I understand that. Yeah. Yeah.
you know, or whatever, you know, whatever they're into, you know what I mean? I don't know what they're into and what their lifestyle is, and you know, some kind of indiscretions, and people that are my lab do all sorts of crazy things and say all sorts of crazy things, and I will agree that they're more my lab than anything. I feel sad for that. I feel bad that they're my lab, but still, I don't want to.
Just by the way, absolutely the same way from my point of view, because you know, the stuff is like people being my lab. I will tell you something. My labbing will ruin,
Horrible.
like literally destroy your life. Like it or not, it's true.
Yeah.
I've got a wife, you know, been my lab. She was my lab for like 20 years, eh? Or let's say at least 15, maybe 17, 18, or maybe 20 years. And I was like, that's bad. And in certain times, once she is having flashbacks or something, yeah, you know, wild household, like Italian, you know, marriage. Personal UFOs. Personal UFOs, you know, flying saucers.
Yeah, the flying plates. Remember seeing that as a kid. Yeah.
No, hey, stop. Give me a second. But at
The dinner
least
table.
it is not static, you know.
Yeah, we had one of those moments as a kid. I remember someone got mad at somebody, and you know, I had a big family, and before you know it, the plates are flying, and I was like, "What the hell's going?" I mean, I was young and just watching everything happen, like slow motion.
And he was like, "What the heck is going on here?" Exactly, I understand.
And it's over, and then it's over. So people walk out of the house, and then it's done, and
yeah, and people are friends again. Yeah.
Well, it takes a little
Just
bit.
by the way, and the most friendly and peaceful moment, once they need to how can I say, to start all the scraps and everything, and they are fixing the plates.
Well, no, I think they were the trash in my house, but yeah.
Give me a second.
But I think
For us, the best thing, fixing the plates and making fun.
Putting
Sorry,
the glue and everything together.
Sorry, I can't stop laughing.
So you went through that too, huh, Peter? Maybe that was part of.
So many times in my household. It's so crazy.
A few times.
Our household is crazy, and I mean literally crazy. Okay. Oh my.
Yeah. So yeah, but the my labs, like I said, feel sad that people have gone through the my labs, but it's still been, we didn't teach them to do some of the things that they're doing or say some of the things that they're saying, and I sometimes I'll listen to people talking out there, and they're saying that they're doing this, that, and the other, and then they're using our terminology, and I'm like, oh my God. I said, somebody's going to come to us one day, and someone's going to get really hurt, and they're going to say that we have influenced that. And I mean, that's like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't care about dealing with missions. I don't care about, you know, situations that I have to deal with. I don't care about demons showing up. I care about people that don't know any better, that are dabbling in things. And then all of a sudden we're responsible for it in some indirect way. And it's not good.
Exactly.
But I have to do that, not you, Peter. It will be me that will have to deal with it.
Yeah, because you are everything. You are gatekeeper. You are my handler, and you are my seductress, and you are like I don't know what the heck, everything. So crazy.
Yeah, I get blamed for everything, but yeah, and meanwhile I do a lot of work in the background too.
Just by the way, of course.
Yeah. And of course, people that don't know any better, Peter's joking, because we have been accused of because Peter and I have been working for such a long time together, that people have accused us of, why you listening to Jessica? Why Jessica, are you talking to people before they talk to Peter? Which, because of people's behavior and how they react to certain things, someone has to filter out whether someone's sincere, someone isn't, or what if they have an agenda of some sort. And also I can tell what program someone is in, and Peter usually confirms it. And that's the other thing is too, people using all these psychics that they think can access the same information as Peter does, and that's fictitious. That's completely false. So if someone says, I know in that program, right?
And just by the way, they started literally many years ago doubting me that my information certainly can, it's obvious, way too obvious, that they shouldn't be, they simply can't be precise and accurate once I am not charging any fee for that. And I was like, what? It's my own personal business. None of this is your business, guys. If I will say, okay, I will charge, for example, 100 or 2, 3, 500, or maybe $1,000, aka $1,000 per session, and I will myself say set, quote unquote, certain time, limited amount of time, okay, it will be my own stuff. But if I decided to do it for free, it doesn't automatically mean that my info is incorrect. Am I right?
No, you can prove your info because it usually comes out one way or another, or it confirms what people sort of have glimpses of or sort of memories, and you have more detail on it. So
problems are people, they don't like what they hear.
Yeah, and the secret space program is something specific. It's not like, hey, I'm going to decide, this guy down the street is going to decide that he's part of a team, and he's going to make up a team, and he's going to call it, this, that, and the other thing. And it doesn't work like that. I mean,
sorry, I can't stop. I can't simply.
And the teams are made up by the programs, and you don't know about those programs unless you're working directly with the ACIO. You can have a feeling that you're participating in something, but you might be participating in a MyLab because they look like teams too. And if you can't tell the difference, you could be in big trouble, because now you're helping to destroy the planet in some way, like Monarch, would manipulate individuals to do things.
Or at least you are helping to create very goddamn good and solid confusion. Just by the way.
Yeah. Or mayhem. I know people that are running in teams, and they'll contact me, and then we'll see that there's fires show up in different places, or wars start, or something bad happens, or accidents, and they'll tell me what they saw, and they'll see something blow up or whatever, and I'm like, that's not a team, that's a MyLab where they're having you work, because you don't just sit around in a MyLab. They either have you work in some capacity, and working for them to create problems.
Exactly what you are saying, because pretty much like we as a team, doesn't matter if we are talking about Kruger 374, Unit 374, SUSO, what so forth. We pretty much have, I don't want to say zero free time, but very small amount of free time. All the times, yes, maybe we are in different teams, different groups, and so on and so on and so on. But this is it. But we are in action. You know, like we are moving here and there and there and here. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It doesn't work like that. That you are just sitting here and there and there and it. No. This is not like that.
Yeah, you're not just casually hanging around and spending time with, you know, social things and all that. Since I have been working with you, Peter, it feels like I don't have a lot of downtime. I have, you know, like there were friendships that I had that I don't have a lot of the social time that I have before. I have limited time with my family. There's a lot of things like that that have changed, and my life is more focused on helping the planet as opposed to helping myself. And I'm not saying,
you know, this is pretty much the sacrifice you need to make once you are involved in this you know, field of expertise. You know, if you like it or not, that's true.
Yeah, and it sort of evolved into that. At first I didn't fully understand it, but then, like, it's not just doing the shows, but you know, you can call us at any time, and day and night I feel pulled into, you know, information that I need to, you know,
Recollections, informations, missions, all kind of
and
yes,
yeah,
yes,
and operations that
yes.
or even threats that we have. We're like always on alert about any kind of threats that are happening.
And so many people will even don't believe that how many times, and I will not watch my language, we pretty much save your asses, people, if you like it or not. And if we will start to talk about that, hey, no, we are not here for, let's say, we don't want to brag with that. No, it's pretty much our job, and this is what we are doing, you know. But so many people love to be in the middle of attention.
What we don't want is people distracting and people then coming back and saying, why are they doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Because you know, a lot of people don't fully understand. They should understand by now, but they don't, because we didn't get the 1 million followers. You know, we didn't promise that you're going to make, you know, $1 billion off of Nisara Jasar. We didn't promise any of these.
Sorry.
That people need to become popular, you know. And I'm not putting people down. I think some people really thought this was the way of truth, but we kind of knew it, and consciously we couldn't participate in it. We didn't want to, even if it meant that we could have reached more people. That's not the way we wanted to do it. We wanted to keep it very simple. We never made any promises of money. We never begged for money. No. We never manipulated the public. We never did anything like that. We tried to keep it that we provided information. We never said all of our information is 100% accurate, but we do have a track record of things coming to pass. So yes, why are we having this discussion?
Every one of you who are doubting us, you can pretty much, quotes in quotes, backtrack the information and the dates and everything. Am I right?
Yeah. And when we get more organized, we'll be able to do that for everyone. We're looking into ways to pull out some of the information and how to present it in a way that people can look at the dates and time.
Yes.
And
yes,
when
we are working. Let's say we are working on it. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, in between of all this other stuff that we're doing, because I just got back from one place, I'm gonna have to go to another. And in between that, trying to take care of some basic life issues, you know. So there's a lot happening for us right now, and we keep on talking about these things. We'll continue to do that because people are creating a lot of confusion right now. They don't understand. They're jumping into our area. They're asserting positions of authority where they shouldn't be, which is a recipe for disaster in many ways, because then they provide distraction from the information that's supposed to come through. And like we said, we're in news information, not just SSP. We don't just talk about, you know, how powerful or wonderful we were as soldiers and go on and on about, you know, how many different planets we visited and all that. We don't do that. That's entertaining and it's fun to listen to when people talk about that, but please keep a separation from what we're doing from that. And on occasion, we might bring up a little bit of that, but for the most part, we're bringing up current events. And we want to stick with that. We want to keep it solid information. We also want to have a separation from those who are distracting or bringing people down a wrong path that are not working with us, which was where we had about 2 months of crazy behaviors and comments and a lot of stuff in the background that people don't know about that were happening. So people not threatening us, but like, you know, challenging us, and yeah, and in some ways talking really bad language and horrible things that people don't know. So meanwhile, we just keep moving forward and try to do our best. And I appreciate those that are helping us work through this. Because, I mean, something like this, you can just say, all right, I'm done. I'm done. I just want to walk away. But I know that's what they want us to do. But we're going to just keep on going. And Peter, you're still over there in Slovakia. You're still in your mission. You're always in your mission. There's barely a month goes by that you are not doing anything. Since I've known you, in 2016, you are always up and ready to go off into a mission. You're constantly available.
Give me a second. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people have asked us, how come you don't go out there and speak publicly? I said, because we're still working. We're still working. I would like to meet the public sometime, just because I love the public, but not to brag about anything, but just to meet some of the people that have been supportive, and I enjoy the comments and love to have the conversations.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Peter, maybe someday, Peter, you don't have to hide your who you are anymore.
This is not in my hands, just by the way. You know, security protocol, it's security protocol. As it is said, you know, this phrase in the army, you know the drill.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe someday we get to a peaceful place where none of that's going to matter anymore.
Yeah. Okay. That makes more sense.
That is possible, but until to not compromise any of the missions, it is going to continue this way. A picture only of Peter. Bottom line, that's it.
Yeah.
Right, Peter?
Yeah. You know, once you have security clearance level 60 plus 60 counts and plus, you know, you can only talk, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
And just by the way, as I said, I've got very different voice in the voice tone and everything, but I was heavily burned in one mission. It was like 2015, I don't know. It was 2015, like, no, 10 years ago, yeah. And I've got through crazy operation, you know, surgery. So, yeah.
Yeah, you've been through a lot of different injuries.
Yeah, you can bet.
Yeah.
You can bet.
You know, personally, Peter, I'm kind of grateful that I'm not physically going through that myself. Even though when you take me, I have an avatar. When you take
yeah,
me,
I understand that.
You still don't feel well afterwards. But I mean,
give me a second. I will tell you something, okay? I get used to it in the first place, and I am kind of addicted. Not to a drug, but if you want to categorize it as a drug, adrenaline. I love adrenaline. I need something need to happen. You know, it's like I will just sit and do nothing. You know, or make farming, or fixing cars, or what so forth, or build infrastructure. Nah, it's nothing.
Racing.
Yeah,
Racing.
yeah. I
Yeah.
something need to happen. You know, just jump out from the airplane in tank, and half of parachutes will not open. And we still just try to pilot a tank.
What do you do when that doesn't open? What do you do?
We try,
Parachute.
not all of them, half of them. So we tried, quotes in quotes, to help it, aka to cheat, you know, gravitation, you know. And
Oh,
we
you use the technology to slow things down a bit so
no,
that
no,
they can get down.
not technology. We literally shoot from main gun from canoe. It was crazy. And
So
we
do you mean
use...
you grab a hold of the people that lose their parachute? You grab a hold
No,
of them
no.
to
Give me a second. They were parachutes, in pretty much in the connected directly to the tank. Believe me or not, it was crazy. And we were like, "What in the world? Why we are falling so fast?" And I was like, "Hey, stop talking!" And I was like, it was so crazy because pretty much we use recoil, you know, what is pretty much something what you absolutely don't like if you are in normal conditions. So as our advantage, it was such a crazy stuff. Oh my
I know
god.
that you said that Rolf has been racing. He's
Yeah,
a race car.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So he's like a super. Does he race other kind of vehicles too?
No. It wasn't like that. Rolf build it and still building this kind of training. How can I call them? Polygons for Kruger runners.
Oh,
That
like
means
like a
it is some
engineer.
sort of parkour stuff. Or maybe not parkour like in between the buildings, but maybe in a nature, you know, you are running fast, you as a Kruger runner, and you need to predict very carefully, because otherwise you will hurt yourself big time, and I mean big time.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or severely injured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also they have him as like an engineer or a designer for Kruger.
No, give me a second. Engineer in the first place, and someone who is supervisor of testing the whole polygon. That means the training site. It is this term, this word polygon. That means, you know.
Oh, so he tries it out first. Okay.
Yeah, you nailed it. So
what do you think, Rob?
Can you remember that?
I don't remember it, but it sounds right to me. I've always had as a kid, I was always drawing stuff like architecture, buildings, and like I always loved creating stuff, whether it was in video games or like designing different things. That seems right to me. Makes sense.
But you have dreams, don't you? Have dreams where you're with teams and you're on race cars and you're doing different things?
Definitely. I have definitely had multiple dreams over the years of all kinds of stuff like that. Yep.
Okay. So at least from my point of view, from my side, it's okay. It's fine for today's show. I want to say thank you for Jessica for giving me another opportunity to be on your channel. I want to say big thank you to all of our regular and maybe not so regular viewers and listeners that they still stick with us till the very end of the show. Stay safe, stay strong, stay fine, and I'm really looking forward for next time. Hold tight, and bye-bye.
Okay, Peter, and thank you for joining us and giving us an update, which, it's really helpful. People know what's going on, setting intentions, and holding the space as we are dealing with the shadow group, 12D Pleiadians, as well as the total war agenda and many other agendas that we covered. And also thank you, Raul, for helping us to understand a little bit what's going on in Europe. And for that, I'm going to say thank you to the audience. Thank you for listening. And until next time, have a good day.
You have been watching Disclosures. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Visit www.acio-official.org and www.readingsbyarael.com to book a private session with Jessica. Feel free to support our work. All links can be found in the description. Thank you, and until next time.